JonTron.
Welcome to JonTron's first top 10, the top 10 most overrated games of all time. And by all time, I mean about the last 40 to 50 years. So anyways, these are games that just don't live up to the praise they get to the current day. And okay, pitchfork wielders, just because a game's overrated doesn't mean it's a bad game. This is probably going to piss off some people, but let's go!
Number 10.
The first Assassin's Creed game was a game that no one really considered extraordinary. Especially me. I goddamn hated that game. There was like one mission type in which you would embark on a short segment to assassinate A or collect B. Nonetheless, it received average reviews. But then came Assassin's Creed 2. Early reports purported that this was an end-all sequel, a game that fixed all the flaws of the first game and then some.
Of course! Genius!
It's true in fact. Assassin's Creed 2 fixed all the flaws of the first game by adding one more mission type, which generally went as follows. Hey Ezio, I need you to go across town for me and push X. Or, hey Ezio, can you follow me across the villa while I bore you to sleep with a chit-chat? I never really understood the appeal of these games, but I can still understand why some people would like them, hence it only being the number 10 spot.
Who would be mad enough to do a thing like that?
Number 9.
You haven't given her a birthday present yet. Don't tell me you forgot to get her one.
Fable. Fuck this game, fuck Peter Meninolas. In fact, we might as well put all his games at the number 9 spot.
Number 8.
I know, you're gonna crucify me. Fallout 3? How could you put Fallout 3 here? It's the best game ever! Well, no, it's not. You see, I absolutely love Fallout 3 to death, but honestly, it doesn't have the substance within it to be considered the best game of all time. It's not even the best game on the PlayStation 3, or Xbox 360 for that matter. I can recount seeing article after article claiming Fallout 3 to be one of the best games of the year, or the last 5 years, or ever for Christ's sake. For a game to be considered as one of the greatest, it's gotta be near flawless and stand the test of time. The latter remains to be judged, but things don't look so good for the former. From what I can recall, this was a satisfying game with shitty pacing, cardboard NPCs, and an ending that only a mother could love. Seriously, Super Mario Bros. 2 had a more complete ending than Fallout 3. Truly, the only reason I put the game on the list is because I always hear people talking about it like it's Mass Effect or something. Though this game may fall short of being the greatest, it still stands on the list as one of my personal favorites.
Number 7.
Super Smash Bros. Previous, meaning any game that came before the currently standing Super Smash Bros. Title. I say this because I feel that Super Smash Bros., at least up till the current date, is a series that only gets better with each succeeding iteration. I can't tell you the amount of times I've encountered a friend who doesn't want to play Brawl because it's broken. No, you're wrong, anonymous friend, it isn't. Perhaps the word you're looking for is different. Brawl has more characters, more items, better graphics, smoother gameplay, and smash balls. Assist trophies? Awesome. A WarioWare level? Fantastic. Solid fucking Snake? Godly. This is just the type of game that evolves and gets better with time. As technology increases, so does the fun. So, for the record, Melee is not better than Brawl. The N64 version is not better than Melee, at least if we're talking technically. Final word. No questions.
Number 6.
The Left 4 Dead series. It's not like the second one is any different than the first one or anything. Ooh, melee weapons? Yeah, they shouldn't have been in the first game. It's not like those are an industry standard or anything. These games are beyond overrated. The internet rarely ceases to shut up about them. Now, what I don't understand is what exactly I'm not seeing. Oh, I've played them. I've played them extensively, and I've always had that feeling that everyone was in on some joke at my expense, like I was an imposter. There I was, sitting and giggling along with my friends, pretending to have fun, but deep inside, I was feeling the inner hurt of a game that just didn't match up to the hype that I'd heard. 9.0? 89 on Metacritic? Maybe I'm just an asshole, and these games are really great, but I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in thinking this. I feel like the mainstream game review industries will give out 9.0s to any major title that has received good press nowadays. I'm looking at you, Resident Evil 5. One thing that's always bugged me about this game is that the weapons all feel exactly the same. They just all rip through the zombies, and it feels like you're machine gunning through cotton candy. It's like the developers forgot to install physics. Especially the sniper rifle. You can use it like a fucking shotgun. Nothing feels like it should. Zombies do minimal damage, your guns rip through them like nothing, you move too fast. I never quite feel like I'm in control of the action, or even playing a zombie game for that matter. Zombies should move slow, damn it! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I think this is one of the most overrated games to date.
Number 5.
Oh, Sonic, you poor, poor bastard. Ripped from your dignity and raped mercilessly for the past 20 years. Everyone's screaming, "Why, Sonic, why? Why can't there be another good Sonic game? Why?" Well, probably because Sonic is a tired concept to begin with. Don't get me wrong, Sonic is fun, but how can you possibly expect to keep a solid, innovative series on this blue bad boy? From the start, this game was a time waster at best. It's too fast, too hectic, and not very profound in any way. Sure, it's fun, but don't expect Metal Gear Sonic 4 anytime soon. You always hear about Sonic right next to our OG Mario, but let's be honest, the quality between the two is nowhere near comparable. They just happen to be rival mascots and thusly were forever associated. The Sonic formula should either be scrapped, changed at the core, or given to Nintendo for a makeover. It seems like you never stop hearing about Sonic the damn Hedgehog these days, even though he's been dead in the backyard with a bullet in his head for the better portion of 15 years. Which is why I place him at number 5 on this countdown.
Number 4.
Final Fantasy VIII. Fuck this game. Seriously, take this game out back and fuck it. I hate this piece of shit game. I hate it with all the strength I can muster. This game sometimes gets praised as being the best Final Fantasy game in the series, and that alone is a bold statement. The Final Fantasy series is home to some fine gaming masterpieces that truly set the bar for RPGs at the time they were made. Final Fantasy VIII, however, takes the prestigious name of Final Fantasy, smears it all over its ass, and jumps around the public mall like a cat in heat. Let's start with the magic system, or junction system. Don't understand it? Neither do I. But don't worry, the game makes sure to explain it to you in the first 10 minutes. Once, and never revisits it. Apparently you're supposed to junction your magic to your stats to make them better and more powerful, but you wouldn't know that unless someone told you or unless you were a fucking genius, at least back then when the internet wasn't as common as a tool. So for a majority of the game you just spam your Eidolons, which are giant monsters summoned by the main characters, and each time you do so you have to watch a cutscene that can take up to 30 seconds each. After a while though, that's not good enough, and you're stuck in a game where you didn't level up your stats enough, but you're stuck in a boss that you can't beat. So there, your save file is as good as broken. It's ugly as shit, even for the PS1. The settings are bland and look like they were pre-rendered by some college student for his class final, and it takes forever to walk between screens, which you will have to do a lot of in this game, especially in Baland Garden. Not to mention, this game has some of the stupidest plot elements, unlikable characters, and worst setting of any RPG ever, let alone just out of the Final Fantasy series. I'm not even exaggerating. I hate this game. It's one of the worst. I can't believe there can possibly be 3 more games that are more overrated than this one.
Number 3.
Oh, I went there. Metroid Prime. This could easily be the most overrated game of all time, but there are bigger fish to fry. Now, this game isn't bad, but it's not exactly great either. Metroid has never been a series that I've been near and dear to, but I've never really disliked any of the series titles. If you like the lonely, atmospheric, adventuring kind of game, then Metroid is the game for you. But if not, then you're out of luck. Either way, Metroid Prime was the first 3D Metroid game, and a drastically different direction from the previous side-scrolling titles. It's good, right? Yeah, it was good, but oh, excuse me, no, it was the best ever. Apparently, 10s across the board for this game. I don't think I've ever seen so much praise for an overall average at best game. I even came upon an article, which I'm sure many of you have seen, that stated Metroid Prime was the Citizen Kane of gaming. How much more overrated can a game get? This isn't even close to being the best Metroid game in the series. What about the masterpiece that is Super Metroid? Forget about that one? Now, I know that's just one guy's opinion, but it's very clear that the majority thought this game was the second coming of Christ. In all, this game was slow, unappealing, and oh god, the backtracking. Not the backtracking! You may feel differently, but this is my list. You lose.
Number 2.
007 GoldenEye. I can hear the pitchforks coming from a nation away. Let me just go ahead and say, for you fuckers out there who are pointing your crosshairs at me right now, I love this game. Or should I say, I loved this game. When I was a kid of around 7 or 8, this game was the shit. There was no better game for hot, 4-player, young boy, video game action.
Get something to drink right there? Oh, please, have a seat. Sure. Please.
And this was with good reason, because this game basically perfected a genre that had yet to see a competent release on a console system. Sure, there was Doom and Wolfenstein 3D on the SNES beforehand, and sure, there was even Turok Dinosaur Hunter for the N64 itself a few months prior, but no one got it right just like Jamesy did. Oh, Jamesy, you can take advantage of me and dump me for the next hot chick any day. The controls were perfect, the graphics were amazing, the context-sensitive hit points were revolutionary, the style, the music, the rhythm, all 100% perfect. Were. Nowadays, 007 GoldenEye is about as appealing as Grandpa farting at Thanksgiving dinner. The controls are wobbly, the graphics are downright pukey, the context-sensitive hit points are plain stupid, and pretty much everything else about it is aged as well as a 12-day-old meatloaf. It's downright bad. Now, obviously, that's not a bad thing, because the game's old. We expect that, and we embrace what it did for the genre. But when we see something like this...
Who here would say that it's one of the greatest shooters of all time?
Everybody. Like, if you hooked it up now, I'd be down to play.
Let's say that after 13 years of gaming innovation, a new GoldenEye game is coming up.
Wrong! Sure, the game was great back then, but first-person shooters as a genre don't age very well. GoldenEye today barely holds a candle to the most mediocre first-person shooters of today. So take off your nostalgia blinders, people. There is better stuff out there. Jumpman isn't better than Super Mario Bros. 3, and Birth of a Nation isn't better than Citizen Kane. That's just how this type of thing works. So if I hear one more person tell me that Modern Warfare 2 sucks, and they'd rather play GoldenEye cause it's better, then they're gonna get a PP7 to the PP crotch then. Yeah. What's that? You want to know what the 100%, absolutely, for sure, most overrated game of all time is? Do you? Do you? Because chances are, you're not going to like to hear the truth. Flame shield on.
Rocket launcher!
You heard me fucking right. Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Now, I played this game as a kid, and you know what? It's fucking great. No, it's fucking legendary. But is it the best? Don't even get me started. Almost all the time when the discussion of the best Zelda games comes up, I hear people try to argue that Link to the Past is the best in the whole series. Now, everyone is entitled to their nostalgia blindness opinion, but I see this so much it sickens me. Literally sickens me. Saying Link to the Past is better than Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and even Twilight Princess, which I personally don't even like that much, is sadly an uninformed statement. That's like saying air hockey is better than tennis. Sure, you can say that because that's how you feel, but sadly, it's just not true. The intricacies present in a three-dimensional game like tennis just aren't available in a two-dimensional game like air hockey. See what I'm getting at here? Now, if all the succeeding Zelda games sucked, albeit being in 3D, you Link to the Past worshippers would be right, no doubt, because it's a good game. It's a shame, though, because pretty much every following game is considered a masterpiece in its own right, except Twilight Princess, but I still argue that it's a better game than Link to the Past. Link to the Past doesn't even have a real story, so all you can argue is that the gameplay is better, which, sadly, it is not. Though, I suppose one man's trash is another man's treasure. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.